As we enter a whole new day in trade, let's take a look at the global cues from last night. Now, the Dow closed at a fresh record high yet again, up 90 points. So 31,613, that's where we settled. It's amazing how the Dow has been able to scale new highs every session over the last month or so. However, the S&P and Nasdaq struggling to advance a little bit now for 2-3 sessions in a row. They finished in the red yesterday. In terms of what was moving, the Dow was boosted by Chevron and Verizon. We know that the big American bull Warren Buffett has migrated from high growth stocks like Apple to perhaps a value trade like Chevron and Verizon, also cyclical to some extent. So these stocks notched fresh new record highs, both of them. And that's what really drove the Dow higher. The S&P and Nasdaq were lower. And this morning, Dow Futures are pretty much flat, and S&P and Nasdaq futures are also pretty much flat to negative. Now, Asian stocks are still moving upward despite a pretty stagnant US handover. Mainland Chinese stocks are obviously in focus. They're back from a long holiday. They've not been active for the last couple trading sessions because of the Lunar New Year holidays in China. So they're making a comeback today, and of course the price action there is very important. But in Japan, the Nikkei is up 0.70% in early trade. The Topix is up 0.2%. Kospi is pretty much flat. And Australia is up as well, with the S&P gaining around 0.12%. So Asia looking quite positive this morning. We then have EU stocks, which is the Stoxx 600 pan-European. It actually closed down yesterday, 0.7%. Retail stocks, for some reason, were particularly under pressure. They were down 3.1%, and they actually led losses for the entire benchmark index. However, it's unfair to blame it all on retail. All your major bourses and sectors dipped into negative territory yesterday. We then have two commodities we always check on, oil and gold. So Brent crude futures, they actually gained yesterday 99 cents or 1.56% to settle at $64.34 per barrel, and at one point we even breached $65 per barrel. So it's really amazing the sharp comeback that we've seen with crude oil, both whether you want to look at international benchmark Brent, which has crossed 65 and settled at 64, or even US WTI was up over $1 yesterday, $1.09 or 2% nearly. To settle at $61.14 per barrel. So oil demand, obviously inventory is falling. They seem to have hit some kind of fulcrum where the prices don't seem to be cooling off at all. For the last 10-15 sessions in a row, we've seen crude advance quite steadily, except for one or two. Spot gold, however, yesterday was down 1.2%, now breached 1800 firmly, and we're at 1773. And gold futures are also down 1.5% at 1772. So the treasury yield spike and perhaps the less appeal for safe haven metal is also hurting gold prices a little bit. So those are the global cues for this morning.